I always mute myself. Hello, welcome back. Every Thursday night, you're here to watch Eyes Up Here Comedy. We have an amazing lineup tonight, as always. And if you're just getting settled, grab a drink, grab some food. We have 2 shows tonight, same lineup, same amazing group of individuals who are coming from New York, from Georgia, from also North Carolina. So we're really excited for that. As always, these shows are here to bring you laughs, but also to raise money for the Pinhook while they're closed due to the pandemic, and also raise money for these comics who are here using their time to make you laugh. And I'm just going to get us started. So let's get started. So some things about me. I am in my bedroom for every moment of the day. That is great for me. It's fun, especially because we have comics from New York, we have comics from Georgia, we have comics from North Carolina, and a little unknown fact about me is that I have lived in all of those places. I was actually born in New York, lived in New York for a little bit, and then my family moved to Georgia. We lived in a city called Snellville, and then I decided to move to Durham. It's a real riches to rags story for me, which has been nice and fun. It's a story of a poor immigrant family that got even poorer and poorer. So just me, that was my legacy specifically. My sisters are doing excellent. But it is Teacher Appreciation Week and it is Nurse Appreciation Week. So I hope that you have given some appreciation to these people, but isn't it some shit that they are sharing the same week? I'm a teacher. I'm a public school teacher. I am teaching online. A lot of people always ask me why I perform stand-up comedy, and it's because I'm pretty used to unresponsive crowds. That's kind of my thing, and this is especially feeling like my thing, and so that's why I keep hosting. But I really like teaching, and sometimes people ask me if I would ever consider teaching in a private school, and honestly, maybe. Because I bet their lost and founds are amazing, you know? I imagine they're like the equivalent of like a Goodwill in Hartford, Connecticut, and I would love a free Burberry trench coat. That sounds ideal for me. But I have been teaching online. It's going bad. It's just that I feel like the kids are always trying to outsmart me for whatever reason. We're on Zoom, and I keep all of their mics muted, but they'll unmute themselves sometimes to correct me. And most recently, a student unmuted themselves and said, Ms. Barkey? And I was like, yes, speaking into the ether because I can't see them. And he said, you spelled barbecue wrong. I was like, what do you mean I spelled barbecue wrong? And I looked at the screen. The only word was DBQ, like document-based question. Like, why the fuck would we be talking about barbecue and U.S. history? I don't know, but here we are. So there's that. But I was dating very recently before the pandemic. So 2 months ago, I had started dating for first time in 2 or 3 years, and it was going bad. It was not going good. I don't like dating because dating is not at all how it is on TV shows and movies. In movies and TV shows, women just meet men and they have fun and they're having a good time and maybe they'll have sex, and that's just not how it goes for me. Because here's the thing, guys, I only had 2/3 of the HPV vaccination, and I am terrified of the consequences of that. So that's good. But I did go on a date right before the pandemic, on a date with this guy, and he asked me into the date if I had read anything interesting lately, which is, I don't like that question, but I wanted to establish very quickly that I am literate. So I said that I read an article. I was like, yeah, I read an article that boiled peanuts are the caviar of the South. He was like, oh, interesting. Where did you read that? Where did you see that? And I was like, yeah, where did I see that? Where did I read that? I think it was a New York article. Yeah, I think it was in the New Yorker. And he is like, oh, Uh, and I was like, and then I thought about it a little bit more. It's a single tweet. It was one tweet that I read once, and but I had committed to this lie, so I had to make up all this data around boiled peanuts. And he's from the north, so he was like, "What are boiled peanuts?" And I was like, "Yeah, what are they? What are boiled peanuts? They're like a soup. It's like a soup with peanuts in it, and they get this like bean texture." So no second date, and it was fine because how could we, you know? But it's okay. I have been reading. I've been reading the WikiHow page for kissing, so I just know I'm gonna come out of this really good at it. So I'm excited for that. But I have been thinking a lot about Mother's Day since it's coming up, and I've been thinking a lot just because I grew up really religious, like so religious that it's kind of insane. Like I feel like whenever I meet someone else who grew up religious, I ask them the same thing of, "Do you feel like you turned out okay?" Because I'm honestly impressed that I am not a serial killer. Just some background on my mother. She was an immigrant from India, and she moved to Snellville, Georgia. So as you can imagine, she fit right in, you know. But really, like she fit right in. I remember asking her in 5th grade why we pray the rosary, and she looked me right in the eye and she said, "Natalie, every time that you say an Our Father, Mary shoots a demon in the head with a rifle." Oh, lot to take in there. And I've been thinking a lot just because I've had so much time to reflect, and like all these pieces of being Catholic just keep coming up to me. So like when I'm trying to focus, I'm trying to meditate, I'm trying to be at peace. It's just like all these prayers and songs that I learned as a kid just come to mind. And one specific prayer that I've been really deep diving into and analyzing is this one that goes, and this is like, this will just play in my head. So, and I just want you to understand a little bit like why I'm going a little crazy. It's a Saint Michael, the archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And to thou, O Prince of the heavenly hosts. What even are these words that I'm saying? But it just plays right when I wake up. So there's that. But I just signed a lease. I am moving into a 1-bedroom apartment, and I'm really excited about it. But I'm a little scared because I don't know how to decorate. Another thing about my mom was we were not allowed to decorate our rooms. We had a single crucifix above our bed, and that was it. We weren't allowed to put things on our walls. And I remember I had a Britney Spears poster that I hid under my bed, and my mother found it once, and she asked me if it was porn. So that's what I had. And another time, my younger sister, she was a little more rebellious. She put up a poster on her wall, but what she did was she put it right behind her door. So when her doors open, you couldn't see the poster was right behind it. And it was this poster of Justin Bieber. And one day, my mother came home, and she was vacuuming my younger sister's room, and so she closed the door, and so she saw it. And so we had an intervention when we got home. She sat us down in the living room, and she pulled out this giant full-size poster of Justin Bieber. And she said, "Who is this? Who is this boy from your class?" My mother thought Justin Bieber, pop star sensation, was a boy in Nissy's class that she had blew up a photo of and then put a picture of behind her door. I don't even understand how someone can be so funny. But I'm going to end with this. I have been thinking a lot about the Reopen America protesters, and I don't think we are being kind enough to them. I think that maybe they're freaking out a little bit because they just don't have a mask, you know? So I've been making masks for them, and I just want to show you a couple of these masks that I've made. So this one, it says darkness. It's really going to protect them, as in it won't protect them at all. Or I made this other one. It says cattle plague. They're all like 7 plague Passover related. This is a good one. It says blood. And last but not least, lice. So good fortune to all these individuals. And I wish them the best. And I'm going to go drive by one of these days and just throw them out to them. But That's all I have. And I'm about to bring up our first comic coming in live from Atlanta, Katherine Blandford.
Woo! Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I never know. Okay. Hi, thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you? Are you working?
Yeah, I'm teaching online, which is fun. Are you working?
I am. I'm nannying.
I'm sure about that. That's fun. So one question that I have is always, just because people will laugh and they'll have so much fun and they'll want to follow you on all your social media. Do you want to share anything?
Oh, of course. So social media, just my Instagram, it's my screen name, KBiz9, KBIZZ9. But I did this like really cool, unique thing where I was like, let me try something that no one else has done. And I started a podcast with my friend Lace. It's called Cheaties, and it's all about really funny cheating stories.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. So I'll put both of those links in the Facebook feed, or Cassie will as well. And you should definitely check that out. You also, I know everything's closed, but eventually things will open. She runs a show on Sundays. I know
it's the last Sunday. Last Sunday of every month. It's on the Beltline here at a brewery called New Realm. So
when we open back up, you should definitely go. It's nice and it's like outside-ish, so it's beautiful always.
Yeah.
So
so come visit us in 2023.
Yeah. Well, I'm scared that I'm gonna lose my 20s in this. That's what I keep saying, but we're not gonna think about it. If you had a band, what would you title it?
The Karens. No further questions, Your Honor.
I feel like that's perfect. It's topical. It's good. And Katherine, I'm gonna go ahead and let you take it away.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks everybody. Hi. I should have cleaned up my closet. Okay, so let me just tell y'all, I've got to record this. I'm gonna submit this to Comedy Central. I'll tell you the thing I miss the most is going to brunch, and that's not the thing I miss the most, but there's something that always happens at brunch that is my favorite. Okay, and like Natalie, you may have had this experience where like when women go to brunch together and we get into a huddle, this will always happen, like where one woman will say something like she'll share something with the group that she's like excited or nervous to share, and then all the other women like in support will take turns one-upping that bitch. And I know, I love it. So this happened like right before quarantine. We were at brunch, and this girl, she was going like on and on and on about herself. I hate her so much. She's my best friend. And she was like, she was actually telling me she wanted to take her grandparents back to India. That's where they immigrated from. But she was saying she was like nervous just to fly. Airport security is a pain in the ass just because their skin is brown, you know? And so I told her, I was like, girl, I know exactly how you feel, you know? Because I was actually like that last summer, I was running a half marathon. Thank you. And I'd run it, and like I just wore a sports bra. I didn't have a shirt on. It was just like a sports bra. And I remember like when I ran it, I was looking on the sidelines, and all these women were judging me the whole time just because my skin is so skinny, you know? And so then she starts telling me about how her grandma is sick. And I was like, oh my God, I wasn't finished. So when she finally stopped complaining, I was like, anyways, so I run this half marathon, and it was for charity, of course, you know. And I would like to take a minute to say that I just love as a humanity that we do that. We like raise awareness for people that are sick by doing what they can. And so I'd shown up to the starting line of this race, right? I was getting ready to run, and this guy with his clipboard, this nerd, had run up to me, and he was like, ma'am, he's like, you can't start the race until you have your racing bib on. I'm like, did you say a bib? And he was like, yeah, your racing bib. And I was like, okay, feed me, daddy. You know, it's always the nerds. And he was like, no, your racing bib. It's like a number every racer wears. Like, and you're supposed to pick it up. We're supposed to get at the expo yesterday. Didn't you get the email? And I was like, oh, I don't have email. I have Instagram. And he was like, well, I'm sorry, you can't run the race without it. And I told him, I was like, sorry, I don't mean to offend you, but you're clearly out of date, you know, with the whole like email thing and the whole like not knowing that I don't get told no, you know, look at me. And I just had to explain to him, I was like, listen, I don't really get told no. Like the only time I hear no is if I'm like, am I in trouble, officer? You know? And I just want to say, like, life for me is just kind of yes and, you know, like even now I pull through the Starbucks drive-thru. I did today. And when I went to the drive-thru at Starbucks, the barista was like, oh, ma'am, actually the man before you paid for your student loans. And I was like, okay, well, who's going to pay for this latte? You know? I tell you, I did just start a podcast with my friend Lace, because we had a similar experience. We got cheated on, and I'll tell you honestly, it came at a good time because I was like having such writer's block. It really, I mean, because people say like they're like when you need inspiration, they're like, you know, like go for a walk or read from your favorite author, you know. So I was taking a stroll through his Instagram or his text messages, and it's been so long since I've done that joke. But I will say, and I don't know if you've ever been cheated on before, but like there's like an amazing thing that happens after you get cheated on. Everybody that loves you, and I said it doesn't even matter like how old you are or what you believe in. Everyone that loves you will encourage you, you know, to be a whore. And like, literally everyone, they'll be like, you know what would be healthy for you? A stranger. You know, even my grandma, like if she called me, she was like, you know what? There's a nice young man at my parish I think you should meet, right? And I was like, that's so cool. Like, what's his name? You know, and she was like, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have a job. But this happened at Walkie Talkies. Like I met a guy at Walkie Talkies. He turned off all the lights at the show and it made fun of him. And we've been dating ever since.
Oh.
And this is what I've learned now that I'm 20 years old. I've learned that like, there's no point in dating a bad guy anymore. Okay. Date a bad boy. Fine. I did. All right. I'll tell you what's going to happen is you're going to get matching tattoos. Okay. And then eventually that relationship will be over, but that tattoo will stay. And then for the rest of your life, you'll have to explain that tattoo to all of your future gynecologists. And so now that I'm on the other side of this is what I've learned. No more bad boys. Okay. Settle down. Get you a Kevin from accounting. Okay. Okay, Kevin from accounting, let me tell you, he's never going to get a tattoo, okay? Not because he thinks that they're trashy, just because they're too ouchy, okay? But I will say this, all right? Just when you think he's just a plain guy, don't underestimate him, okay? Let me tell you something. Kevin from accounting knows what to do in the bedroom, okay? This is what happens. When stuff gets steamy and he starts taking off his khakis, all right, this really will happen. True story. He'll go, Alexa, play sexy rap music. And let me just say, now as an older woman, it feels so good to see a man recognize his own weakness and then delegate that to an intern. Okay.
I have an Alexa and you activated it. Alexa, stop.
Is she playing sexy rap music?
Yes, Alexa, stop.
Is it like genuine? I don't even know if that's rap music.
Like some Amazon rap. I don't know what was going on.
Okay, listen, my band is called the Karens. I don't even know. I don't know what rap music is. Thank you so much. That was so fun.
Wow, give it up for Katherine Blandford. You should.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, amazing.
Thank you.
I have not used my Alexa in so long. I didn't even know that was gonna happen.
Good morning, Alexa.
Yeah. Yeah, follow Katherine on Instagram. Are you on Twitter?
Not you don't want to see it.
Okay, so follow her on Instagram. And check out her podcast, Cheaties. You'll hear more about this matching tattoo situation, I'm sure.
Yes, I'll be back at 9 with a whole new
mediocre
6 minutes.
Doubtful. If you haven't already, make a quick donation to the Pinhook. This show benefits the Pinhook. Our Venmo is at the Pinhook. It's on the bottom of the screen. Yeah. So yeah, donate to them. I'm going to go ahead and just say that I have dated an accountant, and even the good boys are bad. So just good luck. I don't know.
Wait, the accountant was bad?
I don't know. I don't know about your situation. In my situation, I was like, I can't believe the love of my life I thought was going to be an accountant. So I had the opposite experience where I've only dated like very normie people. So
okay, you gotta go. You gotta go hang out some more parking lots.
All right, I'll definitely do that. Good night. I'll see you in a bit, Katherine. Our next comic coming up is coming in live from New York City, Brooklyn specifically. Everybody, give it up for Millie Tamares.
Yay! Oh my gosh, Katherine is still here.
I know. Technology is weird, man. How are you doing, Millie?
How am I doing? Yeah, New York's an amazing city. We have amazing nightlife. We live in these shitty, tiny apartments where you can hear your neighbors cough all the time, and everything awesome about the city is closed. So I am doing okay.
I love like you hear people's like dry coughs through the wall. That's like a real.
I can hear. I counted 26 the other day, like coughing. But then the thing is, like, my neighbors like smoke weed, but then I'm like, you can't handle it because you're coughing like so loud. And then I'm like, why do I even know that they're smoking that much? And I gotta move. So
yeah. I always wonder that. That's like this is like a stupid joke I like to say. It's like I'm thinking a lot about Mary-Kate and Ashley, and if their coughs are COVID coughs or cigarette smoking coughs, and I just need to know.
Wasn't like the theme of one of their weddings like cigarettes?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I'm concerned about them. I don't know why. I think it's just because we like literally celebrated their birthday in our household like every year. So it's just like, how are they doing? Are they alive? Are they good? Are they coughing?
They like have so much money, but they work those girls to the bone.
Yeah.
They don't even want, like, it's crazy. Because do you see them compared to like Elizabeth Olsen? Like, this like, didn't do shit, and now she looks like great and plump. And then the Mary-Kate and Ashley twins, they look like Sarah Jessica Parker, like they need to suck some youth out of somebody or some shit,
Yeah, they're pretty creepy. So the question I always ask people is, if you had a band, what would you title it?
So I think like I played Quiplash with my family the other day, and it's like they're like, what would you name your reggae band full of chickens? And it would be like, I said the Bumba Clucks, because Bumba Clot is like a Jamaican word, so it was like the Bumba Cluts. I think that was pretty funny. But yeah, I got to really think on that. I mean, my improv team was Affirmative Action. That's the name of my all women of color improv team, and we had like an Affirmative Action Facebook page at our top, and it was so cute. We did shows around New York City, and it was all like, women of color. And then we get this crazy guy in Florida who would go on these rants pre-Trump. This is pre-Trump. You go on these long Facebook rants like, at Affirmative Action ruined America, at Affirmative, and then we would tag our.
Yeah, out of context, it's like the policy of affirmative action, but also
he thought he was tagging the policy, but he was tagging like a 6-person improv group in New York City, full of women who like. One of them is the H&R Block tax lady. The other one's in, like we're just all like aspiring actresses. So I would love to do another. I would love to name my band after a policy that only benefits white women.
Oh, love it. Millie, I'm so excited to hear what you have, and I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away.
Yes. First of all, yes. My podcast and my brand is All Dick is Trash. So earlier, Natalie was saying our accountants bad, or people who you meet in parking lots bad. All Dick is Trash. Just keep it simple. Everybody. So my name is Millie Tamares. If you can't tell, I'm from Dominican. My parents are both from the Dominican Republic. And right now, the most famous Dominican American woman is Cardi B. And everybody, there's like some like trouble in the Dominican American community because everyone's like, Cardi B doesn't represent us. Like, Cardi B's too ghetto. She's too ratchet. And it's like, yeah, sure. Cardi B did go to a hookah bar of her husband's side bitch and beat the girl's ass at that woman's job. But I feel like, yes, that's 100% what every Dominican woman would do. If you fuck our husband, we will go to your job and beat your ass. And if you don't, like, can you even say that you're in love? So, yeah, I also, so Dominican women, which I didn't even know, I thought it was like all women, but it's like we have these huge like cookie areolas that like take up most of the breast. And I didn't know that that was like a not like every woman thing until I saw Lady Gaga on TV and she had like 2 pieces of tape like covering her nipples. And I was like, no, this is CGI. What is this? What is this? So that's how I learned that I am indeed not every woman. Okay, so before quarantine, I had like a really productive life in New York City, and in a day I would, go to the gym, teach class, go on client meetings, go out to dinner, go on dates. And now kind of my schedule was made up of watching 8 Law and Order SVU episodes, sex 3 guys at a time and get all their names wrong, and get into online fights with Cuban anti-vaxxers. So I am living the American dream, which is just arguing with Cuban anti-vaxxers. Yes, they all did go to high school with me. I did go to school in Miami. So, I guess like pre-COVID, guys would complain, like when guys would complain about having sex with a condom, they'd be like, oh, it doesn't feel as good. It doesn't feel as good. It's like eating a delicious meal with a sock in your mouth, And I was like, that's so stupid. I felt like have no sympathy for them. You're still out getting to have sex, whatever. And I didn't really, have empathy or sympathy for them until I started doing live shows on live streams. And it's exactly it's the same joy that you get in comedy through a sock, performing live comedy. So yeah, I was like, oh, that's what they mean when they're saying like, having sex with a condom is not the same. So because of that, and because I'm an activist, I am gonna let 4 different guys raw dog me as soon as the coronavirus is done. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of sex right now, and these guys don't care. They'll just straight up be like, I'll come over, blah blah blah, like and I really have to weigh my risk, because like I famously did go to Europe. I was in London like right up until the travel ban, and I did make out with 2 poly guys, so I definitely got COVID. But I'm not sure. So I'm just looking at the numbers, and right now African Americans in this country are 2.7 times more likely to die from COVID than white people, and Latinos are 2 times more likely to die than whites from COVID. And I know how math works. So I'm an Afro-Latina, so I know I'm going to die. I have like 7 or 4.7 times more likely that I'm going to die from corona than a white person. So when a white guy asked me to come over to his house, I'm like, dude, do you want me to die? Like, what the fuck? And yeah, I really thought about having, like having somebody over. My roommate's been gone for the past 2 months. But yeah, if I get ghosted, if this guy like comes over my house, fucks me, and then doesn't answer my text immediately, I'm going to risk it all to kill him. And I won't wear a mask either. So yeah, there's a Netflix show right now called Too Hot to Handle where people are getting $100,000 to not have sex for 30 days. I am, I'm getting $1,200 to not have sex for at least 90 days. And if that's not proof that this country underpays and undervalues women of color, I don't know what is. So yeah. I'm a plus size woman. Yay. Clap, clap, clap. Thank you, Natalie. So, right now is a pretty exciting time to be a plus size woman. because it's just like, I feel like one day, fashion lines just woke up and they're like, hey, maybe they need clothes too. So it's pretty exciting because you'll just wake up one day and you'll get an email from your favorite brand that you've been following, and they're like, check out our plus size collection. And you're like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be like the fat thought I always knew I could be. And then you go on and it's nothing but sunglasses and earrings. And then you're like, thanks, nasty gal. Plus size earrings. But I feel like, a lot of people will say things to you when you're fat. They'll say things like, oh, I just know that there's a skinny person inside of you. There's a skinny person inside of you. And to that I say, not every night, okay? I do take breaks and I don't fuck someone every night. I do let him get out for water. But yeah, no, I actually feel bad for skinny women because I find that I just come so much harder than any other skinny woman I know, and it just comes from this certain position that I do, where, I'm on top, but it's not actually like, I don't orgasm from being on top. I orgasm from the look I get from the guy's eyes when I tell him I want to get on top, and he like gets into fear and like stops breathing for a second because he's so scared. That actually makes me come harder than any other position. And I just feel bad for skinny women that they'll never appreciate that and experience that. But, maybe one day, I don't know. So I'm obviously single. And, when you're single, everyone tries to give you advice. They're like, oh, well, are you on the apps? Are you on the apps? You got to get on the apps. Are you on the apps? And it's like, yes, bitch. I ordered a plate of mozzarella sticks and I still don't have a man. But they're not talking about appetizers. They're talking about dating apps. And yes, I'm on dating apps. I'm on all of them. I'm on Bumble, Tinder, OkCupid, Coffee Meets Bagel, which I'm going to save everyone some time right now. And if you learn nothing else from me, Coffee Meets Bagel is not a website where Black women can meet Jewish men. I thought that's what it was, and it's not. It's a website for ugly people. Thank you so much. I'm Millie Tamares.
Oh my gosh, amazing, Millie. I loved it so much. Millie has an amazing Twitter. I don't think you shared it. You should definitely follow her on Twitter.
Yes, please follow me on Twitter.
I forget the spelling.
Oh, so it's my first name, last name, like at Twitter at Millie Tamares. But the whatever profile name is Lactose Intolerant, yes. Formerly known as Swaghetti and Meatballs.
Yes.
So yeah, but Lactose Intolerant has a name to it, and I can't get rid of it. So yeah. Yeah, and so also listen to the All Dick is Trash podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Millie. Amazing.
Thank you. I'll see you later, Natalie.
Yeah, see you. Our next comic coming in live is actually a local, Cassie Kulhanek. She will also be your host in a little bit too. So I'm super excited to see Cassidy.
I'm so sorry. I actually have to drop out of hosting later.
Oh, this is not good news.
Sorry.
Bad news is always comforting to me somehow, so that's okay. Who will be hosting instead, Cassidy?
Oh my God, don't worry, I've got you set up. So I've been spending a lot of time on the internet lately, as everyone has, and I've gotten really into this one YouTuber. She just reviews everything, and it's incredible. She's brilliant. Her name's Shannon Butler, and I got in contact with her, and she actually responded, and she's super excited to host later.
Okay, well, I'm up for it, whatever this lady is about. But Cassidy, how are you generally doing? The long exhale, love it.
I've been better.
Yeah.
I made the decision to finish my degree last week.
Yes. That's exciting.
And enter a non-existent workplace.
Oh my gosh, everyone give some clap emojis. What is your degree in? I really kind of It was kind of mean of me to say that because I don't know what the degree is in. She got an art degree, an MFA, right? What is it? She got an MFA. So she got some toilet paper. Is what she got. No, I'm kidding. I have a social studies education degree and a history degree. So yeah, I feel you. Let's lighten the mood. Cassidy, if you had a band, what would you name it?
If I had a band, what would I name it? Cat Butt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cassidy, I'm gonna.
I've had since I was a freshman in college. Actually, I didn't make that up
so fast.
Yeah.
That's good though. Cassidy, go ahead and take it away. Make us laugh.
Okay. Oh God. All right. Well, I will do that then. Hi everyone. I hope you're ready to laugh, because I am too. This is a laugh track. Okay. Thank you so much. Calm down. Calm down. Settle down, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being so welcoming while I come tonight. While I do comedy tonight. Not the first one. Not the first one. I'm very lonely right now. I haven't been touched in a long time. I also haven't flossed in a long time. And today I decided to do that for the first time in a couple. And to let you know how it goes, this is a white sweatshirt. And it's not anymore. There you guys are. Yeah, it takes a minute to get them sometimes. just whenever you guys get it. So this pandemic came at a weird time for me. I did just finish grad school like days ago, which was a bad decision for all I can tell, because my paychecks and health insurance end in minutes, and yeah, just got a lot to look forward to right now. But I have been planning to finish grad school for a couple years and move to Chicago, and I'm still planning to move to Chicago. And the reason why I settled on Chicago is because, well, I was thinking of going to either New York or Los Angeles, but I decided to go to Chicago because I'm not hot enough for either of those cities. Thank you. Thanks. No, the more you clap for that one, the more it hurts. Yeah, I'm not hot enough to move to New York or Los Angeles, and I know that if I move to Chicago, which is in the Midwest, all I have to do is drive 30 minutes outside of the city, and I can guarantee that I will be the hottest person actively singing to the bottom of Lake Michigan. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes to build yourself up, you know. I am a child of a broken home. I was raised by a single dad. Rocky relationship with my mom. My mom, she was a complex person. She had 2 abortions in her life. I recently found that out. My mom had an abortion before I was born, and she had an abortion after I was born. And the reason that I bring that up is just to say, does anyone else have siblings that they're like really jealous of? It's like, why do they always ignore the middle child? Thank you. Thank you. All of this affection is making up for the years of affection that I did not get. Oh boy. So I did have a single dad. I was raised by a single dad, which means that I spent a lot of time eating kid cuisine when I grew up, which is perfect for a single parent household, because kid cuisine is a frozen dinner, but it's not like a family size meal. It's like a broken family size meal. It's just right in that sweet spot. I did have 3 stepmoms. I got 3 stepmoms out of the deal, though, since I didn't have a mom. And Having 3 stepmoms is how I know that porn isn't realistic. Because I had 3 stepmoms, and not a single one of them ever ate my pussy
Oh my God.
well. They were all really bad at it. And at a certain point, it's like, why is my dad even seeing you? Yeah, I've had a go at it though. I mean, being a woman is hard. It's hard to be a woman. I feel like it's a lot easier to be a guy. I feel like if you're a guy, every day is like the exact same, right? You have the same routine every single day. If you're a guy, this is what every day is like for you. If you're a guy, you wake up in the morning, and after you leave puncture wounds in the side of whatever person you slept next to or any body pillow that you slept with, you roll out of bed, right? And you roll out of bed, you go to the kitchen, and you need breakfast. So you grab some coffee grinds, right? And you just smear them in your eyeballs. Smear them in there. You reach into the fridge and just grab whatever uncovered food item is sitting right on the rack. And that's your breakfast if you're a guy. And of course, you need to do some dishes, right? So you eat your food, you have to do dishes, you got to be responsible. So if you're a guy, doing dishes goes like this. You just grab like a fork or some shit, and then you just like hot dog mustard the soap down the middle of it. And you just shoot it off with a little water gun. That's what doing dishes like, is it if you're a guy. So much easier than if you're a woman. And after you do dishes, you gotta go take a shower. So you take that same dish soap to the shower with you, and you wash your body, face, and hair with it. And then you get out of the shower, right? And you gotta fix your hair. And so you grab that 1 can of Old Spice foam that is both shaving cream and hair gel. And so you fix your hair and you shave with it. And there's just like a little bit left, right? There's just like a little bit left, so you just jerk off with that, and then you just do that straight into your hand, right? And you just use that as sunscreen. You put that on, and then you're almost ready for the day, but you still got to put deodorant on, right? And so you lift your arms up and you just scream into your armpits. You just and that's deodorant if you're a guy. And everything about life just seems so much easier if you're a man. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with. I'm going to go cry about it.
Oh my goodness. Cassidy, everyone give it up for Cassie Kulhanik. She's also your host. Well, she's not. Her
I was going to be, but
mind is. Her mind is going to do that. Amazing. Oh my gosh, guys, keep commenting. We love to see your comments as you guys are enjoying the show. So definitely just write stuff. Well, what joke made you laugh? Like a phrase that's kind of funny, or generally just be supportive. I've seen so many people go ahead and make a donation, which is great. And I also see so many people sharing this to their page. So keep doing that. I'm super excited because I'm about to bring your last comic of the hour up. And fun fact, I learned very randomly after I followed this person on Twitter, just because I thought she was funny, that one of my roommates actually knows her. So everybody give it up for Amama Sardar. You're on mute. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. How's June? That's our shared friend.
Yes, June is watching in the kitchen right now. So
yay, good.
Maybe I'll get her to come in here so you can hear both of our laughs while you're.
Oh my God, if she doesn't laugh, I would be so heartbroken. I'd be like, oh no.
No, June's a great laugher. How are you generally doing? Are you in New York right now?
I am. I'm in Brooklyn. I live with a few roommates, so I'm in the kitchen. We're like the only place I can get Wi-Fi. So it's a really Brooklyn experience right now. I'm drinking. I got like a fancy bottle of wine. Mm-hmm. It was $20, which I don't know if that's fancy for a lot of people, but for me, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna splurge.
I don't know. For me, it's like whenever I see wine that is not in cardboard, I am impressed. So yeah,
That's true.
it's pretty impressive that you have a $20 bottle. If you had a band, what would you title it?
Ooh, I would probably do something like really stupid that's like probably like a brand already, just to like get into a fight with the said brand. I don't know why. Like that would just be so fun if I like
Like, have a
Duraflame.
lawsuit?
Oh,
You just like want a stupid lawsuit? Like,
yeah, I just want my band to get traction,
yeah,
and a lawsuit is the perfect way. Like, I don't know, I feel like I said it first. I know you've been in business since the 1800s, but it wasn't ethical.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be like some sort of like whiskey or like yeah, something like some sort of alcohol that's been around for so long, and then I would just double up and take their name.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's fun. Oh, hey, Jeff Nelson. He's
Oh
gonna
my
walk.
God, I love Jeff Nelson so much.
All right, Mama, I'm gonna go ahead and let you take it away. I'm gonna go get June too.
All right, awesome. All right, hi everyone. Hi Jeff and June. And I actually do feel bad for people who have demanding jobs in quarantine, especially teachers. So Natalie, people like you, I feel like you're teaching all day and then you get cyberbullied all night. I'm just assuming that that's what happens. Kids are vicious. I used to teach 11th and 12th graders, and they used to call me cardboard butt, which isn't a compliment. No matter how much you try to tell yourself at night, it's awful and it's terrible. Yeah, I don't know. My roommates are currently unpacking some food. It's a very Brooklyn experience. No, you guys can eat. I'm a terrible person. You can't have the kitchen. But yeah, I taught science, and I also at the same time believed in the healing power of crystals. So I am the reason that everyone is so dumb right now. If there's any kid who's like 25, I'm probably the reason they're like, maybe an amethyst can help us against the coronavirus. I was actually in LA, and I saw a woman, and she had given me a few crystals, and she told me that if I take the crystals and I put them on my body, good things would happen. And that night, I met some dude, and we started to hook up. So I was like, wow, this is an amazing thing to happen. And he took my bra off, and the crystals didn't fall to the floor like they should have. They just stayed on my boobs like I bedazzled my own tits. Well, that was amazing. That was the moment I realized that men, you guys will literally fuck anyone. You guys don't care at all. And I've realized that again when I've had my mask on and I'm walking around in New York City and people are hitting on me, and I'm like, what? Like, how? Like, I don't have a butt. Usually men give me the same look when they look at my butt, like my mom did when I failed a math test. It's a lot of disappointment. She's like, why would you do that? This is awful. I don't know if anyone is religious right now. I think it's a perfect time to either get into religion or really prove that you're an atheist. Right? Like, my atheist friends, by week 2 of quarantine, were like, hey, we think that Allah knows what's best. And I was like, man, you guys are all Christians, so you're really reaching here. You know, maybe, like, Allah's not for you, he's for me, though. It is currently Ramadan. I don't know if anyone knows about Ramadan, but that's when you fast, you don't drink water, you really don't drink wine. You're not supposed to. But you're not supposed to eat or drink for about like 15 hours a day, sunrise, sun up. And it's really, really helped me realize that I never had an eating disorder, ever. You know, I always thought I did, and then I fasted, and I was like, oh wow, this takes a lot of work. I was doing it wrong the whole time. You know, like, I thought I had one, and then I wasn't losing weight, and then I fasted, and I was like, oh, I get it. I see what I need to do. What's really great, though, is a lot of Muslim dudes are DMing, or a lot of dudes in general. Everyone's trash, like Millie said. But they're DMing, like, at high rates right now, and a lot of Muslim dudes are DMing with like Islamic quotes, followed by a picture of their dick.
Oh.
It is really interesting because it's like you guys are bringing both of your worlds together. You're like, I love religion, I love being a pervert. You know, like this is me, this is who I am. I had a guy today, he was like, Mashallah, may Allah bless you like he has blessed me. And I was like, oh, the next picture is a dick pic. I just know it. You know, you never start by saying like, Allah bless my brain. Here's a paper I wrote. I wish that was the case. That would be so fun. Um, I did go on Hinge. Hinge is interesting right now. I don't recommend it because whoever you're going to meet is going to be a real weirdo once all of this ends, right? Like, right now you're like, oh my God, we're bonding over conspiracy theories. And then you meet at a park like months from now and you're like, oh wow, you really do believe that squirrels are doctors. That wasn't a joke, that's real. Um, but Hinge keeps like setting me up with dudes, and it keeps saying like this person is your most compatible, and they look exactly like the guys that my mom sets me up with, which means I'm not as cute as I thought I was. You know, that's so upsetting. Like when your friend set you up with someone gross, you're like, oh my God, she's jealous. When your mom sets you up with someone gross, you're like, oh my God, she doesn't love me? Like this is what she thought was my best. And she's right. She's not even wrong. Like I date white rappers. It is the best that I can do. Um, my mom did try to set me up on arranged marriage style, which now she just stopped completely. I think she knows that the world is ending. But it's like arranged marriage just scares me because you don't meet each other until the night of. And then it's like the first time I'm gonna meet this guy, I'm like, hey man, like my favorite sex position is something called the starfish. I just lie there and I don't make a sound. Nice to meet you. That's great. I guess I'll leave you guys with this. Natalie, I know you said you were a teacher. I like for 2 classes taught sex ed, and I was 22 years old, and I didn't lose my virginity until I was 24. So if you do the math, for 2 years, I just lied to children. It's so fun. Yeah, like one time a kid was like, hey, I heard that during sex, and I was like, whoa, what did you hear? Is it good? Tell me everything. Start from the beginning. Anyway, thank you so much. This has been so fun.
Oh my God. I want you to see June. June, get in the camera real quick so you can say hi.
Oh, yay!
Amazing. That was great. I definitely relate to so much of what you said. My aunts are trying to get me arranged marriage, and so I'll send them these really provocative selfies just to like make them upset. And they're like, who do you think is going to want to marry you? I'm like, exactly. Nobody.
Everyone.
That was amazing. Mama's going to come back on in the second show, so keep tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Erin so she can do some announcements.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Woo! Oh my gosh. I don't need an arranged marriage. I can choose poorly on my own. Just leave me alone. I've got bad decisions left and right. Y'all, it's Thursday. I didn't realize that it was Thursday until earlier today. So, gosh, how'd we get here? What day is it? I feel like Scrooge. Scrooge like looks out the window and says, "What day is it, boy?" And it's me every day yelling at people on Wade Avenue. Y'all, thanks for tuning in for our shows with Eyes of Pure Comedy and the Pinhook. Pants optional, bras optional. Really, truly, we don't need bras or pants for this. We are here to laugh every Thursday night alongside the Pinhook because we love the Pinhook so much. We are doing weekly shows here live with funny people from around the U.S. because there are funny people and we know them and we ask them to do it and they want to be funny online with you. So if you haven't already, take a moment just to donate to the Pinhook via Venmo or their GoFundMe page. All of that gets split between the comics you see tonight as well as the Pinhook. We can pretend that you're at the Pinhook and that Darren just poured you the pineapple vodka that you always ask for. Is that just me? Because I like That's all I ever order. Yeah, I didn't drink till I was 26, so you can judge my bad alcohol habits that way. Y'all, we love the Pinhook. Please give generously if you can. If you can't, that's okay. We're doing this because we love to have a laugh, y'all. We've got a lot on our minds from day to day trying to debunk lots of things right now, as well as bunk at home and not leave. So if you have a moment, give. If not, that's okay. Tune in on Friday nights for karaoke with the Pinhook and on Saturday nights for drag show with the Pinhook. We've got all this entertainment for you, and we're here with Eyes Up Here Comedy and Natalie Varkey and myself and Cassidy every Thursday night until whenever. Oblivion, we're not sure, but that's my plug. We'll be doing an open mic here soon on Instagram Live. So keep an eye out on Eyes Up Here Com on Instagram. That's where you can find us doing our open mic. I haven't picked a date yet. To be honest, I don't know what day it is. And that wasn't a lie. So with that, I would like to get our second hour of comedy started. I know that we had put out some posters saying Cassidy would be here, but she's not. She like passed it off to some YouTube reviewer named Shannon Butler, who says that she's going to host a comedy show tonight and do some reviews. So I guess I'm bringing on Shannon. Shannon, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you so much, Erin. I am so glad to be here with you guys tonight.
Well, Shannon, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest. I usually just stick to YouTube. This is pretty new for me, but I like new experiences, and I think that what you guys got going on here is real nice.
Well, I know we haven't met, but I'm just going to trust you, so maybe let's take it away.
You got it, Erin. I'll do anything for you. Guys, so glad to be here with you tonight. My name is Shannon Butler. Some of you probably recognize me. You're probably fans of my YouTube channel, Shannon Butler Reviews, where I review just about anything under the sun. One of my more famous reviews that I've had in the last couple months, if you've missed them, is I went to the Grand Canyon a few months ago. I reviewed the Grand Canyon, and just to recap that for you, the Grand Canyon was grand. It was big. It was a canyon. It was a hole in the ground. And, there was a whole lot to see. It's got about everything. It's got hiking. There's a river in the bottom of it. Did you know how that was made? A river. You're telling me. There's a river in the bottom of it. There's hiking. There's swimming. There's camping. There's a restaurant at the top. There's rich heritage and the native people's culture surrounding it. It's a beautiful place, beautiful part of the world. Highly recommend it. But then again, gotta be honest with you, all of God's splendor can't compare with a bum knee. And so as long as the Grand Canyon doesn't have escalators down to the bottom, I'm gonna have to give it 4 out of 5 stars. So I'm real excited to be here hosting with you guys tonight. I'm excited to be a part of an Eyes Up Here show. I've been a fan of Eyes Up Here for a while. My friend Cassidy, she does some Eyes Up Here shows, and she just thinks it's the best. I think it's pretty great too. Now, I'm sure you guys are aware of what Eyes Up Here and the Pinhook are, since you're here supporting tonight. But just to kind of catch you up to speed, Eyes Up Here is a great, very inclusive comedy programming unit led by the masterful Erin Terry. She is a 5-star woman for sure. Love her. Love what she's doing. She's great. She's brilliant. And Eyes Up Here really reflects her desire to be the best and to make everyone feel like they are also the best. Of course, if everyone's the best, then no one's the best. But we'll get into that another time. I will say, Eyes Up Here, just like anything, ain't perfect. As we all know, the foundation of good comedy is straight white men making women, people of color, people of the LGBTQ community feel bad about themselves. And unfortunately, you're not going to see that happen at an Eyes Up Here show. Never seen anybody be racist or sexist or homophobic. And as we all know, that's where real humor is, right? And as long as that's not a part of it, I gotta say, they're going to be good, but they could never be great, right? Keep shooting for the stars, though, Eyes Up Here, folks. What you're doing is good. And the Pinhook. We're here tonight to support the Pinhook. Make sure you Venmo them at the Pinhook. You can also find them on Patreon and GoFundMe. We have put those links in the comments. I'll drop them again in a minute when I'm not talking to you. Yeah, make sure you support the Pinhook. They're in a lot of venues that are as comfortable and as welcoming and as fun and inclusive as the Pinhook, especially in this part of the world. But you'll find that, you know, places like the Pinhook, they can become a second home for a lot of folks. And we wouldn't want to leave anybody without that second home. I love the Pinhook. I love going in there. I love talking to the bartenders, ordering myself a drink, sitting by the window, watching people with friends talk to them. It's great. Every time I go to the Pinhook, I take a picture of a bathroom stall because there's always something good written in there. It's good. I love that bar. It's one of my favorites I've ever been to. And I think that, you know, if you have any good in your heart, you will help support them tonight and help support Eyes Up Here's mission and keep venues like that alive, because we want to get good, inclusive programming to be, you know, a regular occurrence in our communities. All in all, Pinhook, pretty great. I did fall going up the stairs to the stage one time, so that being said, 4 out of 5 stars, but mostly it's on me. Well, I'm excited about the show tonight, guys. I don't know about you, but it's a good time. If you caught the last show, you know that all the talent tonight is, as they're named, talented. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and welcome up our first comic of the night. You may have just seen her hosting the last hour of comedy, the lovely, the wonderful, the always incredible Natalie Varkey.
Oh my God. I just saw the lineup again. So I was like, I was about to, you know, go poop maybe. I don't know. Hey, what's up?
Well, I'm glad that you added yourself, because I sure don't know how to do this. You know, I usually stick to YouTube, so this is new for me.
Oh,
Yeah. How are
ooh, hello. Wow.
Hi.
You're on that side. Now you're on this
Yeah,
side.
I like to keep you on your toes. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've been laughing a lot, so I'm feeling pretty elevated in mood. Not usually, but right now, yeah.
Good. Oh, you know the pressure's on for you. The folks saw you last time. You got no stuff for us? You gonna bring us some tried and true classics? What's up for us here in a minute? What's your deal, Natalie?
My whole deal is that I will not be doing new stuff, because since I host every week, I try to do new stuff once a week, and so I did it in the last hour. I'm gonna probably do it again. You know.
Beautiful. Well, you know, we definitely got folks who are tuning in for the first time for this show, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you the spotlight here so that they can hear the gems you brought for us. Thanks, Natalie. Take it away.
I'm just going to start off by saying, please comment. And also, Shannon Butler is now my name. So, Shannon, take that. I'm Natalie Varkey, and you just saw me, but I'm going to do some jokes one more time. And I'm going to actually start by taking a moment of silence. I think it's important right now that we think about Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know if you guys know this, but Leonardo DiCaprio dates very, very young women. And so, unfortunately, they cannot be here with him at this time. They could be carriers. They could be carriers. They could kill him. So I'm going to just take a moment, you know. His girlfriends are so young, but they will not be forgotten. Okay. All right. So now we can do some jokes. We do have comics tonight from North Carolina, from Atlanta, from New York City, which is cool because I've been all 3 places. I've also lived in all 4 places. I was born in New York, and then I moved to Snellville, Georgia, and then I moved to Durham, North Carolina. It's a real riches to rags to more rags kind of story. So it's a story of a woman who is poor. And continue to be poor in a different southern state. So that's good and fun for me. Just so you guys are well aware of my bracket of wealth, I am a public school teacher, and this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and also Nurse Appreciation Week, because we couldn't get our own week. That'd be silly. the most underappreciated roles should share a week, you know? But I do hope you guys are appreciating people. Been kind of appreciated somewhat, I think. I'm not quite sure yet, but people always ask me like why I do stand up, like why be a teacher and also perform local comedy in Durham, North Carolina. And the answer is yes. I do hate myself. Yes, that's what that is. I am a middle school teacher, and so I'm pretty used to unresponsive crowds. So this is also good for me and my thing. Sometimes people, though, will ask me if I would ever consider teaching in a private school. And honestly, maybe, because I bet their Lost and Founds are amazing, you know? I imagine have a Goodwill in Hartford, Connecticut, and I would love a free Burberry trench coat. That sounds good for me. But I've been teaching online. I've been teaching on Zoom, and they really want to talk to me. The kids, they really want to interact. They want to correct me. And so the other day, this kid, he unmuted himself and he goes, Ms. Berkey, I think that you spelled barbecue wrong. I'm like looking at the screen that I'm sharing and I'm like, what are you talking about? And I look and the only thing that resembles barbecue is DBQ, you know, like document-based question. Why the fuck would we be talking about barbecue right now in US history? I don't know, but that's where they are. Right before the pandemic, I was finally starting to date again, you know, and I was dating a little bit. And here, I hate dating. I hate it. I hate it so much because it's not like it is in TV shows. Like in TV shows, you meet a guy and it's really fun and really nice, and then you have sex maybe. And my life's not so much like that. Not like that at all. It's more like, here's the thing, guys. I only got 2/3 of the HPV vaccination, and I am terrified of the results. I don't know what will happen. I'll die, right? I'll die most likely. Ovarian cysts. Is that? Does that sound hot to anyone? But I did go on a date right before the pandemic. I went on a date with this guy, and he asked me if I had read anything interesting lately. And I want to establish very quickly that I am literate. I think that's important. And so I was like, yeah, I read an article. Duh. I read an article that boiled peanuts are the caviar of the South. It's like, oh, interesting. Where did you read that? What were your thoughts on that? And I was like, where did I read that? I think it was a New Yorker article. It was a single tweet, guys. It was a one tweet, less than 140 characters. But I had committed to this lie, so I had to make up all this data around boiled peanuts. And he was from the north, so he was like, "What are boiled peanuts?" I was like, "Yeah, what are they? What are boiled peanuts? They're like a soup. It's like a soup with peanuts in it. I like to eat them like with gas stations." No, okay. I'm gonna close with this. I think a lot of the Reopen America protesters, they're getting a lot of hate. And they deserve that, of course. They deserve it. But I also think they need some empathy, you know? And so I've been considering like why they might be doing this. And maybe it's because they don't have a mask, you know? Like maybe they just don't have a mask. And so I made them some masks. And these are the masks that I made them. This first one, it says Cattle Plague. Because, you know, first is the toilet paper, next is the meat. That's what my tow truck driver said to me once. And this one says lice and it has googly eyes. So when they're angry, furiously confronting the police and not getting shot, they can wear that one. Or this one says blood in all capital letters. And then this one says darkness. And they're all Passover themed, obviously. And, I just think that maybe they'll calm down if I throw these at them. So that's my next move. But yeah, that's all I got. Good night, guys.
Nice. Well done, Natalie. Great job. Wow, comedians, they're funny. Who knew? Wow. Well, Natalie Varkey, everybody, follow her on Twitter, follow her on Instagram, friend her on Facebook, follow her home. Don't do that. That'd be weird. Glad to have been able to witness that. And we got lots of other folks coming through the lineup for you tonight. But before we move on really quickly, I just want to put in a little word from our sponsors. And the first sponsor that we're going to talk about tonight is Wooden Spoons. Tonight is partially sponsored by Wooden Spoons. This one is great. Wooden Spoons. Keep your pasta from boiling over. Surprise a lover with permission. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for staying with us. Remember to hit the pin hook up on Venmo, Patreon, or GoFundMe. We keep posting those links in the comments. Our next comic coming up for you this evening. You just saw her not too long ago on the last show, but we are excited to have her back for this one. Our next comic coming up, Mama Sarter.
Hello.
Hi there. Hi, Mama. How are you?
I'm great, Shannon.
You know my name. Do you watch my channel?
Oh my god, all the fucking time. Hell yeah. You have a fan from New York.
I love my international fans. It's so great. And my national fans too. I wasn't talking about you though. I was mostly talking about the folks who write me from Canada or the Virgin Islands.
Or Pakistan, any of those.
Yeah, or Pakistan. I mostly get fans from Canada and the Virgin Islands though. I think the furthest I've seen anybody check in from was Guam. So, kind of international.
Oh yeah.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm a little drunk, so I'm great. I'm having fun.
Heard your roommate was cooking earlier. Did you get in on that action?
Oh my god, no, but there is some zucchini bread on the table, and I will drunk eat it. I think I'm too loud. I'm just gonna steal food.
Okay. Well, you just take some of that and you mash it right into your microphone spot so I can try it too, okay? Going good? All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to let you take it over, Mama. You'll have fun with it, all right?
Thank you. Oh my god, hello everyone again. Man, I'm getting drunk because we have so much time in quarantine. I don't know if you guys are at a loss of what to do. Like most days, I'm like, oh, should I talk to my family or friends, or should I catfish my high school bully? Right? Like I would love to hear from my parents, but I would love to know if Emily from ninth grade bio is heartbroken because of me. That would be great. I know I talked about religion earlier. I actually used to wear the hijab, which is the headscarf, I think in about like ninth and 10th grade. And I know I'm drinking wine during Ramadan, so I like it was during a time that I was religious, and I used to wear it every day for about like those 2 years. And I don't think that I would wear a hijab again unless my boss tried to fire me. Like that would be the perfect time for me to go in to work, or even on a Zoom call, just show up. If they're like, hey, we need to have a serious talk, I just show up full headscarf, maybe even a burqa. And I'm like, hey, what do you guys want to talk about? Like, if they fire me, I'm like, oh, the day I find Islam, this is what's going to happen? I don't think so. I'm going to sue you guys. I've been thinking a lot about religion, a lot, because since my whole entire last set was about religion, but I've been watching a lot of shows about cults. Cults are just like gangs that are basically they have white privilege and low self-esteem. Like they're never like, oh, let's go like kill someone else, or like let's just kill ourselves and everyone else in this area. I used to be part of a boxing gym, which is definitely like a cult, because when you join, they're like, hey, we're family, and then they try to fuck you. So it's like, oh, this is exactly what a cult would do. But yeah, I think I stopped being religious after a few things. One of the main things was like I had like precancer cells, which happens when you have HPV, or like if you're really cool and you have sex, me. But it also definitely happens when you're about to have sex with someone and you're like, hey, we don't have to use a condom. And then you say it so many times that you just get the HPV that causes cervical cancer. It's great. But after I had surgery, this Muslim woman was like, hey, you should never tell a man that you might not be able to have kids. It might be a turn off. And I don't know if you've ever told a 25-year-old guy that he could come inside of you without consequence. It is like watching his favorite football team win the Super Bowl. It's amazing. It's the worst dating advice I've ever gotten. Like, in fact, when later I was like, hey, I might be pregnant, it was like seeing his favorite football player get shot at the Super Bowl. I was like, all right. Yeah, I'm not super religious anymore. Like I said before, I believe in ghosts. I like to have like imaginary friends. I also believe in vision boards. Vision boards are kind of cool. They're also kind of scary because I'm afraid that every single thing I wanted, I was like, oh, by the time I'm 30, I want to have like, I don't know, a Honda Accord because I don't really believe in myself. Like an apartment with 3 roommates. Like all of that's come true. The one last thing I wanted was like 3 kids, and I'm terrified that during the pandemic somehow I'm gonna get pregnant. It's just gonna happen. Like if vision boards are actually real, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow with 3 children. And maybe I should make a vision board to reverse the effects of the other one. Like start putting pictures of condoms all over the vision board. Yeah, and then the vision board gods are like, oh, she wants to be a 25-year-old guy and just store them and never use them ever again. My dad used to work in a factory and he actually lost, and he still works in the factory, but he lost the tip of his finger. And the only time I would believe in vision boards would be if I was like, hey man, you should put a picture of a full finger on your vision board. And then at the factory 10 years later, they're like, we found it. I'd be like, all right, fine. Vision board gods are real. You got me. I've been saving a lot of money. I'm not eating out. I'm not going to bars. I'm not paying for all the guys I date. That's really exciting. The last show I had, I date some of the worst people, like white rappers. Like one time a guy said, let me spit some rhymes for you. And I was so impressed. I was like, oh my God, you know how to read and write. This is insane. This is above the bar, honestly. But I've also been with men who say things like, I'm gonna make you the best Indian food you've ever had, which is weird because I'm not Indian and they're white. You know, like that just, it doesn't make sense to me. I've never gone up to a white guy and not like, hey man, let's go do what your people love, right? Like, let's go colonize anything. Like pick a restaurant. Yeah, restaurants are all closed, but pick anything. It's yours now. Just sit there. It'll be yours. I did want to take a break from dating before quarantine, and I said it in such a self-righteous way. I was like, oh, I'm going to take time to find myself. And man, did the world test me and call my bluff. Because I have all the time in the world, and I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to still find men on dating apps and get my heart broken somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I promise I'm going to do it. I think my favorite story, though, I'm so oblivious to everything, especially when it comes to people not liking me. So I'll leave you guys with this story, but in grad school, when I was with Natalie's roommate, I went to a concert, and then my boyfriend at the time was like, hey, I would love to talk to you. Like, can you come home? And I came home. He was like, let's go take a ride in my car. It's like 3:00 in the morning. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to propose at 3:00 in the morning. How opportune. And I got in and he was like, we're not happy anymore. The only time we're happy is when we're smoking or drinking. So obviously I was like, all right, man, let's add cocaine to the mix, right? Like we will be happy all the time and we're going to be business partners. But yeah, long story short, he broke up with me and then months and months later reached out and said, hey, I just want you to know that I met someone else and now I'm in love. And I responded to that with, hey, I just want you to know that I'm so happy for you. Also, remember the time that your mom died. And if you're like, why would you say that? I thought we both were sharing useless and hurtful information. I was like, this is so fun. The new game. Anyway, thank you so much.
Oh my goodness gracious, and Mama, that was so good. Oh man, yeah. I unfortunately all of my exes have happy families, which makes it really hard for me as a person who absolutely does not have that kind of ammo on them. Oh boy, But that was great. That was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us tonight. I hope you enjoyed zucchini bread. Oh boy. Well, folks, reminder, please donate to what we got going on here, to fund the GoFundMe and the Patreon for the Puddin' Hook. You can also Venmo them, scrolling right there below me. You can hit that Venmo. One more quick word from our sponsors before we move on to our next wonderful comic. Our next sponsor for the evening is going to be leftover pasta. So, yeah, leftover pasta. You can find it in the fridge. It's vegan if you're chill about it. Yeah, leftover pasta in the cold food section of your house. All right, folks. Well, now that that sponsor's out of the way, they're going to help us bring up the next comic, the lovely, the wonderful, the raw dogging Millie Tamaras, everybody.
Hey.
Hello, Millie.
Hey, I'm glad to be referred to as raw dogging.
I hope that you take that one to the grave with you. You can put it on your tombstone.
I feel like people see me and they're like, she's let someone raw dog. I don't have to take that to the grave.
I feel like it's one of those like you could put that on the back of a mean looking leather jacket or something, you know, like one of those tough girl things.
Yeah. No, I won't. I don't think I need any more street harassment. I'm already like with the mask and the sunglasses, and I'm still getting. It's just like I can't.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'm gonna hit you up in a few months though, and remind you about this, and maybe we can get matching raw dog knuckle tattoos. We'll both have to cut a pinky off, but it'll work.
Raw. I mean, no. Well, if we spell dog, DAWG,
RAWW, raw
dog.
dog. Raw dog.
Yeah, raw dogging it.
Cannot wait. Well, I don't want to take up your time, Millie. You go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So happy to be here. I just I'm in this quarantine alone. Not sure if I'll ever have sex again, but I did spend $80 on a Rihanna underwear. So thank you, Rihanna, for that one. Whole lingerie set that the guys don't even notice. You spend $80 on a nice, sexy bra, and all they do is yank on it and say, "Take your t-shirt off," and it's like, it's a fucking bra, you dumbass. You don't even know the difference. And I let him fuck anyway, so it's just like whatever. I was talking to my friend, he's like, you're already in the apartment, it's kind of too late. So it's like you just keep mental notes. Like I did fuck a guy with like sand on his bed, but I don't know what the sand was, but I was already there. Like, and my other friend said he was over at this guy's house, and he went to go pee, and the guy had like an intense rubber ducky collection. And he's like, but I was already over there. So it's like, yeah, I don't know where this guy in Queens got a whole bunch of sand in December to put on his bed, but there you go. So yeah, like dating is pretty hard. Like there's like no cheat codes. There's no way to like make it easy, of like a kind of marker. And especially as a woman of color, it's so hard. Period. That's the end of my show. I mean, women of color, it's so hard. No, but it could be really difficult because like you'll be on a nice date with a nice white guy and everything's going really well. And then he says something just a little off. And then you're just like, wait, Connor, did you vote for Trump? No, right? No, right? No, you didn't, right? And they'll be like, no, I didn't vote for Trump. And you're like, you breathe a sigh of relief. And he's like, I voted for Gary Johnson. It's like, what? That's fucking worse. What the fuck is that? He's like, no, but just relax. I'm a progressive. It's like, oh, okay. A progressive libertarian. What the fuck? A progressive what? And I'll talk to my friends and they're like, oh, Millie, you're so picky. You're too picky. oh my God, like he's almost there. You just gotta, he's almost there. You just gotta like tweak, you almost, and it's just like, listen, okay, I'm not looking for a gut rental project. I'm looking for a move-in ready home, okay? Because you go in on those renovation projects, you walk in and you're like, I'm just gonna change the wallpaper in the bathroom. And then you, for some reason, you get the instinct to take down the drywall and you see that the wiring is all from the 50s. And that is a joke for people who touch themselves to the Property Brothers. Thank you, HGTV. We love you. And we all know that there's a hotter Property Brother. And unfortunately, he's dating Zooey Deschanel. And, nothing against Zooey Deschanel. I just feel like, do you need a ukulele and a tiara? Probably not. But yeah, black men aren't easy either. There's no like sign for like black men or like just men in general, like, oh, which ones to avoid. But like black men, I feel like every time I'm on a date with them, it'll be going really well. And then they just, at some point, they're like, white women are crazy. And like, as a feminist, the feminist part of me is like, no. Like, first of all, like, solidarity with all women. Women aren't crazy. Like, what the fuck kind of patriarchal bullshit is that? And the black woman side of me is like, look, Lena Dunham, Lindsay Lohan, you're not wrong, sir, okay? Like, I'm not going to say you're wrong. But then, the guy later, one date, this guy was like, yeah, I was on a date with this white woman and everything was going really well. But then she was like, hey, do you want to come to the bathroom and do some coke with me? And then he's like, isn't that crazy? I'm like, yeah, that is crazy. I would never share my coke on the first date. That is insane. You must marry her immediately. And then he was like, do you do coke? And I was like, no, like only on special occasions. New Year's, my birthday, Chinese New Year, Dominican Independence Day, Arbor Day, just the major holidays. So yeah, that guy later on, he was like complaining about, he started complaining, he was an adult skateboarder, in case you're wondering. There's this viral video of 3 skateboarders going down the highway because the highways are so empty. And I know I have a problem when I looked at that video and was like, yeah, I'd fuck any of them. I can't say, but I would probably. So yeah, this guy was an adult skateboarder. And yeah, like he had a Voldemort tattoo, like the Voldemort, like Slytherin fucking marker gang shit. And later he said something like pretty, so he already on the first date was talking about how white women are crazy. Then a few weeks later, he was talking about how black women and Latino women are crazy. And then and I'm like, oh, you just hate women. You just hate all women no matter what. Okay, good to know. And I'm just like, man, dating's so hard. I wish there was some kind of mark, like some kind of dark mark that like guys could have to let you know not to date them because they're terrible people. Like some kind of dark mark tattoo. Like a dark mark. That's a Harry Potter joke. Anyway, speaking of dark marks, I got fired from my job, even pre-COVID, which is like, first of all, trendsetter here, hipster here. I was on unemployment before it was cool, okay? Before everyone jumped on that bandwagon. And I'm holding on to that cred, just like I said, I was listening to Panic at the Disco in 2006. So, I'm a cool girl. But yeah, so I got fired and my job was like, yo, you have I have good insurance with this job. And they're like, you're only going to have it for like another month. And then I was like, wait, I have no job and then I have this good insurance for a month. Bitch, I went to fucking therapy twice a week, get all that trauma out there. Nutritionist, I saw that bitch 4 times. Did I listen to anything she said? Fuck no. And I got a fucking dentist. When was the last time I went to a dentist? probably before that 15 years. I went 4 times in a month because, bitch, I'm not going to get played. I did say this joke. I was, again, famously in London up until the travel ban. I did say this joke, and they were all horrified. And they do think America's the ghetto because we don't have health insurance. No one laughed, and they were all very concerned. And I said, don't worry. If Boris Johnson gets his way, you're going to be in the same position. But finally, and they did not like that joke. Finally, I went to Planned Parenthood to get a pappy. That's what we call pap smears in New York. And, I went, and like, it's just so crazy because in movies and in TV, when a girl gets an abortion, the clinic is like so dark, and like there's all these like scary women there, and like she always like runs and she sits down, and it's just so dark and creepy and dirty, and like she sits down to get the abortion, and then she's like, I can't do this, no, and she like runs out crying and runs in the lobby, looks at everybody, and then runs out into the parking lot and is like free to have a fucking baby. But the thing is about America, after Trump won, all of the white guilt money went to the ACLU and to Planned Parenthood. So Planned Parenthood has so much fucking money. They fucking built this nice ass 3-story building, pristine, glass windows, all this shit. And they were playing HGTV, which that's my spank bank right there. And it was like this lobby full of all different kinds of people, all different kinds of representations, gender, and it was so cool. Then there's like in a corner, there's this group of teens, and they're recording like multiple TikTok videos. They're like in the camera and they're like lip syncing and stuff. And I'm just like, can you imagine if you're here to get an abortion and you go and you just decide that you don't want an abortion, and then you go into the lobby and you see a bunch of kids doing this and this? I feel like I would turn around and get the job done. Just like, I can't do that. Gotta follow through with this. Because I'm not giving birth to anybody doing the fucking Fortnite dances. But anyway, that's me. That's my time. I'm Millie Tamaris. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for letting me talk about abortion and my nipples. Is there a host? Yay! Thank you.
My 2 favorite things in the world, Millie, abortion and your nipples. Thank you so much for coming on with us. It's been a pleasure having you. You're just great. You're lovely and wonderful and hilarious. So glad to have you on the show. Our last sponsor of the night, folks, is going to bring up our next act for us. And that last sponsor is Dr. Bronner's Travel Size Peppermint Body Wash. It'll make your junk tingle. Our next comic of the night is going to be wonderful. Before I bring her on, one more reminder, please donate to the Pin Hook. You can Venmo them, or you can hit them up on GoFundMe, and just know that we usually charge $7 for these shows, so if you want to kind of figure out where to start, that's a good line to start from right there. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up our final act of the night, the wonderful and hilarious Katherine Blandford.
Okay, thank you. So many things to address really quick. I used to work for Dr. Bronner.
Wow.
Is that the same company that does all the hair products? I don't know.
I don't know that I've ever seen any hair products. I've seen lots of different things from them, though. Lots of different soaps, Castile soaps.
Okay, I did. Well, if it's the one that I worked for them. Okay, second of all, I just noticed the from the 8 o'clock show, my grandma joined, and this comedy has gone too far.
Oh no,
online comedy.
I am so sorry. I apologize.
No, listen. This is what I have to get. This is what we have to get used to now, is that our family in farms in Kentucky can come to shows now.
Well, honestly, Katherine, I got a phone call from my grandma. This is a true story. My grandmother has been very sick. Okay, my grandma lives in Nebraska, and she's been very sick. And she called me a few weeks into quarantine just to let me know she hates my comedy.
You were like, I could have told you that.
I thought I was like, oh no, she's calling me to tell me this is it. But no.
She's like,
You're just like, hey, I watched your comedy. It was bad.
so you know that thing that you've been pouring your heart into? Cut it out. Knock it off.
Nothing like
my
a
God.
grandmother's love. Well, you know what? Don't let me take up your time. You just take it run with it, Katherine.
Okay, well, my battery was not plugged in. Everything's fine. Kevin from accounting hung these peacocks, by the way, if you were in the last show. Okay, so yeah, my comedy's going, or my comedy's going fine. Grandma, I hope you're not in here at this point. But you know what? I think you have 60 grandkids. You know, not all of us were gonna turn out great. I feel for the people, whoever's quarantining with children right now. I really feel for you. I absolutely hate children, which is why being a nanny during quarantine is making it even harder. So right now I'm nannying for a family, but the parents are working from home, and now it makes it hard because I have to pretend like I like all the kids, but I only like the bad ones. You know, one of them is a good kid, she's 5, and she's like, she wants to play with me and she asks me questions. And then there's the 2-year-old, and I love her because she's so bad. She doesn't care about me. The other day I was taking out the trash and she locked me out of the house, and she's 2, like she can barely reach the locks. I had no idea how she knew that I didn't want to work that day, you know, but I was like, thank you so much. And then the 5-year-old went and let me in, and somebody lost their screen time that day. But I told Kevin from accounting, like, that just how much kids are so much work. I was like, I don't want to have kids, you know, I want to have a career. And he was like, well, you can do both. He was like, you could just get a nanny. I was like, no, I can't as a nanny then hire a nanny. You know what I mean? Like that would be like a horse riding on the back of a horse. You know? These are my new quarantine material. So this happened the day that I wanted to do an activity. So I went and I laid out at the park, and I was in a bikini, and I was laying out and I looked up and I saw these balloons and they spelled out, "Will you marry me?" And then all of a sudden I watched this young couple walk up, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's about to propose to this girl. So I was like, well, what if while he's proposing, like, I could get him to check me out? You know what I mean? And I'm not a bad person. I'm not saying like I would want to end a marriage. I just want to know if I could end a marriage, you know? And, so I tried really hard. He got down on one knee, and I was in my bathing suit, right? So I sucked in, right? And like, I had like I had that stomach, you know, like where there's like a valley, but I'm sucking in so much, like your neck also has that valley. You know what I'm talking about? Like, have you ever seen pictures of girls on a beach and they've got like a tiny stomach, but they look up and they have that like stalactite neck? Do you know what I mean? And it looks like their head is attached to their body by pulled taffy, you know, and it's very flavored because they're not breathing. And like if you notice it, it's like if somebody's sucking in so much, women get this like valley in their neck, and that's where we keep all those times when we say something's fine, but we're gonna bring it up later. It stays right there. So I was like sucking in like a lot, right? And I looked like an NSYNC music video girl, right? And he never looked at me. He popped the question, and then they hugged and they embraced. And at that moment, they were in the park, right? This homeless man walked up and asked them for change. And the girl and the couple went, "Not now!" And I saw panic in her. It was like that panic because she realized that she had let out that crazy that you're supposed to say for the honeymoon. And it was like, you know that panic, like you can tell that someone has in their eyes, like when you a tampon drops out of your purse in the staff meeting, and you're like, that's not mine. You know, that's an Ultra. It's probably Karen's. Big hips. Listen to Dixie Chicks, you know? She was terrified, and not now. And then you could see her fiance, like you could see him see his future, and it wasn't good. And so that whole story is just to tell you that, sure, it was hard for her to tell that man that she had no change for him when she had a new diamond ring on her hand. But then again, she'd also just given another man her whole hand. And this is to say that there's nothing more painful than just a man asking a woman for anything. All right. This is the new quarantine material. All right, this is my very educated, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. This is my educated view on what's happening right now. Because I work with kids, and because kids aren't really affected by COVID-19, and this is my opinion why. Because like older people are, right? But I think older people are because that generation, they grew up on things like they ate stuff like green beans and stuff. But like these kids now, like their bodies have adapted, and that's why they're not being affected. Like I know for a fact, like these kids are running around and they're eating something called Go-Gurt. And I don't know even if you say it, it sounds Go-Gurt. It sounds like you're choking your intestines. And if you don't know what it is, it was originally yogurt. If you don't know what yogurt is, it was like a byproduct from a different animal that we took. And we were like, well, wait, let's maybe not eat this. Let's like wait till it gets clumpier. And then someone was like, well, wait, what if we waited till it got clumpier and then we put it in tubes and gave it to kids and they can eat it while they're running around? And moms were like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Is it organic? And we were like, yep, this flavor is. It's called Neon. And kids are gonna be okay, you know. And then like people in their 20s, like me, this is why we're fine. Like we're not really that affected by it anymore. And I know why, especially for women in their 20s, is because we've just been taking a vaccine that will let us survive anything. Every day I take this little concoction of it's birth control, Adderall, and Xanax. So I'll talk Bob Lane tomorrow. That's just another day at the tanning bed for me. Okay. That was it. That was my quarantine material. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Great work, Katherine. That was just so funny. Thank you so much for coming to the show. God, you tell Kevin from accounting that we love his peacocks.
Well, it'll be so tickled.
Yeah, those are just beautiful. They are lovely.
Wait, did Millie address the luchador mask?
No, but you know what they always say: when God closes a luchador, He opens a lucha window. So
He gives you a peacock. There was just one purple mask on our bleak wall just hanging there. And I was like, have we talked about this?
Yeah, I know. Nobody talked about it. And it made me
I loved it.
It made me feel much less interesting. When something really interesting is not even the focus, that's you're boring.
Yeah. I've done so many Zoom shows and I'm like, okay, this person's bookshelf is cute. But the lone purple glittery luchador mask on a bleak wall is my favorite so far.
You know what? Speaking of luchadors, I'm going to bring Natalie Varkey back to help me close this out. Thank you so much, Katherine Blandford. Hilarious material for the quad. Thank you. Natalie, where are you?
Everyone's so good. Oh my God.
You are amazing. Okay, this is a serious thing. It might sound a little ridiculous, but you went to UGA.
Yes, I did.
Were you familiar with the female wrestling league that took place in the art school at UGA?
That sounds real. Like that sounds like something I might have learned about, but I didn't personally know. I didn't spend too much time in the Lamar.
Okay. I got waitlisted at UGA. I didn't go, but one of the big selling points for me was the fact that their female art students had their own wrestling league.
Sounds about right. I feel like all the art students were also like bands somehow. Everyone in UGA's art school is also radio host and band.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, everybody in Athens is Kishibashi.
Yes, exactly. This was an amazing lineup, and we do this every single Thursday. So If you haven't watched before and you enjoyed it tonight, you can share our stream. We actually keep up these videos for like a couple days. So if you missed it and you just want to play it back, you can also do that. And also, if you haven't donated, don't be greedy with the money. Donate to Pinhook. Pinhook's main purpose is to create a stage for marginalized artists. It's queer owned. It's amazing. It's my favorite place to do karaoke. It's my favorite place to host this amazing comedy show. But until we are reopened, we're going to keep doing this online, and you'll see me again. You'll see Erin again. You'll see Cassie again. And it's just going to be such a fun time. So good night, everyone.
Triangle. Best bar in the triangle.
Yes, I agree.
Thanks for having me, Natalie. Thank you so much.
Always. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
How do we end it?